Well, hello there, everybody. We've got HyperFuzz FZ-2 on the bench. It does not turn on at all, and I have my guitar over here with my amp on, and it's dead. It's completely dead. 9 volts in, but nothing out. So right away we can see that there's some pretty dodgy soldering jobs in here. If I take the light up for you, there we go. Up in here there's some stripped pads, and just the soldering in this area just seems a little dodgy to me. So what we're gonna do is focus on that. We're just gonna take this board out and see what's inside. You've got a lot of wires that are just blatantly not connected. You've got the input jack's not even connected to anything. And you've got the output jack that is totally... Yeah, we're going to need a schematic for this guy.
So as you saw in the previous video, all of these wires are just all over the place. So what I'm just going to do is totally revamp this thing. I'm just going to remove every wire from this and then just rewire it based on what this schematic says. And this is a schematic for the FZ-1 or FZ-2 rather, that I found somewhere online. So what I'm going to do is just kind of annotate it and figure out where we're going to need to put certain wires. So obviously we're going to need an output wire somewhere and an input wire somewhere. So we're going to have to do that. If we scroll down a bit, you'll see that there's a switch down here. This is your foot switch. So we're going to have to do that. Those are going to be 2 wires there. What else? We're going to have to do power somewhere. So we're going to have to get power. This is VCC. It's a little cut off there, but there's VCC. What else do we need? We're going to need some... So our ribbon cable is still intact. So all of those ribbon cable wires are fine. What else might we need? Oh, looks like we have LED. We have an LED. Something going on with that. So remember to look at those wires. And what else do we have here? We have blue and yellow, and those seem to be going to... So it looks like those are connected to this mode switch over here. So if we look at the DP3T mode switch, it seems like there are some wires associated with this one as well. So that's also an area that we're going to have to look at. What else do we have? A battery. You might need the battery. That will be something over here. DC in. Here's your battery connections. And what else do we have? I don't think we have much else here. So we're just going to totally dewire this thing and rewire it and then see if it works.
Look what you've done to me. Before I had time to kill, now all that's left already died. Ooh, now won't you run with me? Let your proof girl turn in. Relax, girl, you again. Set your soul down here. Can't carry with you while we run.
So it seems like all we had to do was a rewire for this thing. I didn't catch the rewire on film because, well, one, my video kind of shot out there, and also I really didn't feel like desoldering the wires I already put in there just so I can reshoot it. So I didn't decide to do that, but I added another battery clip in here because that one was a little frayed. Other than that, this thing seems to be good. So let's plug her in. And I already know it works, but I think you guys want to hear it, so.
And now for my favorite part of the video, where we go and do a little deep dive on who uses the Hyperfuzz FZ-2 using Equipboard.com, one of my favorite sites for doing this. So if we go through here, we see that there's 28 artists who use this pedal. Obviously there's more than that, but like, you know, this is all people put up. And immediately we see some big names here. We got David Gilmour, Buckethead, we got a bunch of things here. I kind of picked some at the top here. So the first thing I want to mention is that something that I noticed that was kind of interesting was that we see this kind of OCD plus Hyperfuzz FZ-2 pair up. We see that in two instances here. We see Joey Santiago of the Pixies. He has that set up quite literally, right? Off to the left over here. You can't really see that, can you? If we blow it up a little bit, we see that OCD hype is off to the side here, and then we just have regular OCD. On this Skating Polys article over here, we see that Kelly Mayo uses an FZ-2, but there's also an OCD that's listed in the gear list over here. If we bring that up as well, maybe you can see that a little better. Here it is. So FZ-2 and a full tone OCD. So that's pretty neat. That's the first. That's the main thing that I kind of took out of this whole thing. So there you go. So you have Skating Poly, Kelly Mayo of Skating Poly, and Joey Santiago of the Pixies. Next we have Carlton Bost from Orgy over here. He also uses it. We got Jeff Buckley listing it as one of his first effects on his website. We got Stone Gossard from Pearl Jam. If I just kind of read you a little excerpt real quick. We use different pedals to achieve different amounts of distortion and overdrive. A DoD graphic EQ that boosts the signal and drives the amp's preamp sections harder, a Boss Hyperfuzz, and an old Ibanez TS9 tube screamer. Stone uses 2 amps. We use Rocktron rack interface that feeds the amps 2 totally separate signals to eliminate any impedance problems. So there you go. There you have it. So we have Stone Gossard from Pearl Jam also using the FZ-2. Here is an excerpt from an interview with David Gilmour, and he also uses a Boss Hyperfuzz. He lists it as an additional pedal, so not exclusively, but you get the gist. And then we also have just for kicks, we got Buckethead in his 2016 tour. Apparently, he also used it in that tour. So anyway, that's it. And you can go to the site. You can see who else uses the FZ-2 as well. Thanks for watching, and have a good day.